Bonsoir tout le monde, c'est moi, Catherine M. Marsh, pour ce soir. Je voudrais dire about the part of French culture, fashion. I'm not a fashionista by any stretch of the imagination, although I am tremendously interested in fashion. I'm tremendously interested in the film business, and I'm trop intéressant on films made in France, especially. So anyhow, Chanel. I'm going to talk about Chanel versus Christian Dior. Now, some of my opinions might not be popular, but they're not things which haven't been said before about Chanel or about Christian Dior. So anyhow, I prefer Chanel to the fashion designs of Christian Dior. And the pearls I wear every day were inspired by Madame Coco Chanel, and I wear these every day. They're not real, and the pearls Coco Chanel used to wear weren't real either. And eventually Coco Chanel got real pearls and started wearing real pearls. You got to start with what you've got. So I wear black from head to toe almost every day. I would love to have a Chanel black club with a white collar, which was a theatrical costume design. I commence. I wear Chanel number 5 is a kind of perfume I wear every day. Just a bit, every day. Chaque jour. Of course, there are other numbers of the parfum, but I just stick with 5. So anyhow, I'll tell you why I'm not a big fan of Christian Dior. Because of the corsets. Just when people had gotten free of corsets with Chanel, so people could breathe and could work. People have to work unless you want to be beholden to your husband or beholden to your boyfriend. It's necessary to work and do the kind of work you would like to do, not just any kind of job. I'm an artist, so I paint almost every day, and I draw occasionally. Chanel did not draw and paint, although did her design work, fashion design work another way. So anyhow, and Chanel didn't have any say-so about who checked into the Ritz Hotel and who didn't. The people who checked in there or didn't check in there during World War II was not something Coco Chanel had any say-so about at all, because the Ritz Hotel was in the business of filling the rooms, not quibbling about which pay bar the person was from, or whether the person was in the military or not. It was just fill the rooms, which is how a lot of hotels used to be. So I think it's really unkind of people to blame Coco Chanel, Madame Chanel, for German military officers checking into the Ritz Hotel, because this was fashion. Coco Chanel designed, Madame Chanel designed costumes for the theaters in Paris, and opened her own Maison de Chanel and started Filière making dresses, and created an empire, a fashion empire in Paris, and did not work at the front desk. And it wasn't her job to make the decision about which people got to check in, which people didn't get to check in. So people need to stop blaming Coco Chanel for the people who checked in to the Ritz Hotel, because it wasn't was out of her hands, really. Clément. So anyhow, I'm not a big fan of Christian Dior's work. I've seen a lot of hub he's made, which are absolutely gorgeous, and really, I can understand why somebody would want to attain a hub designed by Monsieur Christian Dior. But I'll just say this: he brought back the corset, and I've seen Emily Blunt, 2025, wearing a Dior chemise, a Dior white blouse, which looks absolutely stunning on her, looks great, but then wearing a corset on top of the shirt, and that's got to be constrictive. Try to run wearing a corset. Somebody wants a steak for lunch. You try to run across the who even wearing a corset. Good luck. You can't run anywhere. You can't even skedaddle wearing a corset. And there's why I'm not a big fan of the designs of Christian Dior, because even 2025, celebrities are being put in corsets. Those used to have bones. I've had somebody put me in a corset before, and I said, I'm not going to wear this because I can't dance wearing a corset, and I can't hardly even breathe wearing a corset. And I want you to put me in something else, something I can actually work wearing, because I can't act wearing a corset. I can't do the job I would like to do wearing a corset. Put me in something else. And the costume designer had a fit for about 5 minutes, and then he put me in something else. You can't work effectively wearing a corset. There's why I like the designs of Coco Chanel, because there weren't any corsets. The Chanel hub doesn't have any corsetry at all. People can work, people can act, people can write, people can direct, people can paint, people can do what jobs in the fashion industry involve doing. You can't get to the front row during Paris Fashion Semaine. If you have a corset on, it will take you a lot longer to find your seat. I also am not a big fan of les mini-jupes. Yeah, when you're 20 or when you're 25, to wear a mini skirt looks really chic and fun to wear. But the older people get, unless you want somebody to see half your thighs, it's probably not really flattering to wear a mini jupe as people get older. And this is for men too. I mean, I would wear a kilt, but those go all the way down to your knees. They're not like halfway up. And of course, I would wear a Chanel hub. I would be so excited to wear a Chanel hub. I'd be just, I'd be like, oh God, this is my year. I'm really happy. I would have trouvé mon bonheur to be wearing a dress, a hub designed by Madame Coco Chanel. So there's what I have to say ce soir about French fashion. In film, there's Chanel in some films, but not. I mean, it's The Devil Wears Prada. The Devil Wears Prada too. I'm sure there's Chanel in the second film too. Anyhow, Chanel, 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 not Dior. There's my humble opinion, fashion-wise. Bonne nuit.